Good morning, everybody. Glad to have you here today. Thank you for joining me. If you will, again, I'll ask you to like, share, and or comment on the post. And then we're going to take a look at a sad passage, really, but one that holds a great deal of promise and hope for you and I today in our life. We've been reading about the little I say little disagreement. I wasn't in it. Big disagreement. The Bible calls it a sharp disagreement in verse 39 between Paul and Barnabas all over Mark. And Mark had been with them on their previous journey, and he had deserted. He had dropped out. And Barnabas wanted to take Mark along, and Paul didn't want to take that chance of having someone he was depending on to bail out on him again. He didn't want to risk it. He didn't, for whatever reason, didn't believe Mark had matured, didn't believe Mark had learned. Perhaps that was just his nature. Some people are that way. Gomer Pyle famously said, "Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me." Perhaps Paul was of that mindset. And again, it was a very serious task they were about. It was a very, in many ways, dangerous task that they were going on. And Paul just was not willing to risk it again. And I think all of us can understand that, Paul's opinion. I think we can also understand Barnabas' situation. Barnabas wanted to give him another chance. Barnabas, we know that his very name means encourager. And so Barnabas was willing to give him a second chance. And most of us, we probably fall in one of those two categories. We would either be like Paul and say, no, not risking it again, or we'd be like Barnabas and saying, let's give him another chance. And so the Bible says in verse 39, they separated from each other. Very sad, as I said, very sad statement to see two good friends, two men who had labored together for the gospel, split apart like this. Barnabas took Mark with him and sailed to Cyprus. Paul chose Silas and departed, having been commended by the brothers to the grace of the Lord. And he went through Syria and Cilicia, strengthening the churches. So they disagree, and they decide to split up and go on separate trips. And again, that's very sad, again, to see two men who had worked together, who had labored together, who had accomplished much together, disagree to the point where they couldn't come to any other solution but to split up. And again, we could make an argument that both of them were in the right, and we'd probably get a 50-50 vote if we were to put it to a vote. There would be some who agreed with Paul, said, nope, burn me once, you're not getting a second chance. Others would be like Barnabas and say, let's give him a chance. He seems to have learned his lesson. Both of them godly men. And Paul was right. There's no argument. Mark had failed. And Paul wasn't making it up. The Bible tells us Mark quit on their journey. But Barnabas, being the son of encouragement, wanted to give him another chance. And again, I don't think we can say either man was wrong. I can certainly understand Paul's position. I can understand Barnabas's position. Not sure exactly in that exact story which one I'd probably tend to lean towards Paul. I'll give you a second chance in some things, but this was serious business. There were lives at stake. And so I would probably have leaned towards Paul's side. But regardless, neither one could convince the other one. And so they split into two missionary teams. And then God takes we know that God took this disagreement, and he took their journeys, their division, their splitting apart, to further the gospel, to give them greater impact as they as they spread the gospel. Obviously, 4 men divided into 2 groups can cover more ground than 4 men in 1 group. And God takes this disagreement and uses it to expand their preaching. And in spite of this disagreement, this sharp disagreement, God takes it and covers more ground with the gospel. More lives are going to be transformed and changed. And even, again, though there was a disagreement, God in His sovereignty and His providence takes and multiplies the impact that they would have had. And again, I said to begin with, this was a very sad story, but it has a great deal of hope for us, because it tells us and shows us that God can take our messes and do great things. He can take our difficulty and our troubles and do great things. Unfortunately, you may know of some. I could rattle off a lengthy list of churches over the years that have had disputes in the church, who have had disagreements, and one group would leave and go start another church, and that's sad. It's not good. There's no way I think we would say that was a way that God intended for the church to multiply and to grow. But nonetheless, he takes that sometimes and uses it, and the original church flourishes, continues to flourish. And the new church goes out into a new area, and they start with their group, and God uses that to flourish. I don't necessarily understand it all, but I am so thankful. The lesson we learn from this passage is God can take even my biggest messes, and He can make something wonderful even from my mess. Keep that in mind today. We'll see you here tomorrow morning.